Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Startup Academy, your online gateway to success in ISS exam. This academy, as you all know, is exclusively for ISS only, and we have started the paper number 3, in which we have covered econometrics and sampling techniques. Today we'll cover the topic time series. So what is meant by time series? And the third portion of the paper includes miscellaneous, in which there is time series, demand analysis, and we have index numbers and so on, these things. So in that, we have first taken time series because it is an easier option, and most of us who have taken statistics in our subjects, as our subjects in BSc and MSc, have covered this topic many a times. And this is the one of the easiest topics in the third one. So we have taken up this so that we could cover it, but it has difficult derivations and difficult numericals. So we'll discuss every method with its numerical along with the derivations of this portion. So time series is one of the most important subjects the in our statistics, because most of our findings and everything depends on time series only. So what is meant by time series? When we arrange data in accordance with the time, then that series or that data is known as time series. In simple words, we can say that if I have to measure the temperature of a city, suppose we are living in Delhi. So if we have to measure the temperature of the city in a month, so every day one temperature would be recorded, and that temperature and that series of a 30 day month will be said as a time series of temperature of the city Delhi. So the this is was one such example. Many examples can be taken. So we'll start with time series today. Let's begin. So time series. The definition can be written as arrangement of statistical data, because we are talking about statistics, in a chronological order. That is in accordance with time. Is known as time series, right? So arrangement of a statistical data, or simply a data, in a chronological order, that is in accordance with the time. If we are decreasing or increasing with respect to time, whether it is hour, minute, day, months, years, etc., or quarters, then it is known as time series. So the time series have different components, as we all know. Okay, we can represent a time series like this, where t represents time and yt represents value. So if we have time t1, t2, t3 up till tn. So the values at time t1 will be yt1, yt2, yt3 up till ytn. Let us take an example. In example, let us take a series measuring room temperature, or room temperature example we have taken already. So measuring the population of a village A. So if we have to measure the population, first is T and second is YT. So suppose in 20, we are measuring from 2018 to 2019 to 2020, 2021. So first was 115,682. Then in 2019 it increased to 12732. Then 2020 it also increased to 14557. And in 2021 it decreased due to corona into 13275. Zero, let us add. Okay. So this was an example of measuring the population of a village during 2018 to 2021. This was one such example. Now moving on further to our concept of time series, we have components of time series. Now, time series can be divided into four basic components, or broadly classified into three basic components. First is trend or long term movement. Second is periodic changes or short term movements, which are further divided into two main categories, which is cyclical movements and seasonal movements. And the fourth one is irregular or random movements. So writing the components of time series, if we talk about broad classification, then first one is trend, or we can write long term movements. The second one is periodic changes, or short term movements. The third one, okay. So in periodic changes, we have another two classification. First one is seasonal variations, and the second one is cyclic variations. Then the third one would be random or irregular component. So these are the three broader classification, and if we see, the classifications are basically four. So now moving on further to define trend and periodic changes, seasonal and cyclic variation, and random or irregular component. So first one, moving on to first one is trend. So if we talk about trend, trend is nothing but the changes that we see in anything or in a time series due to long times or long movement. Suppose the changes we have seen in the population growth of India from suppose from 2 decades. or from 2000, from 20th 19th century onwards till now 2025. So this is an example of trend. So writing the characteristics of trend: observed over long time periods. Now trend can be increasing or decreasing. Increasing trend can be seen in population growth, GDP growth, etc. And decreasing trend can be seen in infant mortality rate. What is infant mortality rate? The death of infants at the birth due to advanced medical facilities. Okay. Then the third one is trends are long, smooth. Trends are long, smooth, and general. If we draw a diagram of a trend, then it is like this. These are the long, smooth, and general. Okay. Then the fourth property is there are two kinds of trend: linear trend that cluster more or less over a straight line. So suppose these are the trend values. So this is the straight line. So it is a linear trend. The fifth one is non-linear trend that cluster more or less over a curve. So this goes like this. So it is a non-linear trend. Okay. Now moving on further to our next topic, which is periodic changes. Periodic changes, as we all know, are short-term movements. Trends follow up to decades and centuries and greater amount of time, and periodic changes are smaller amount of time. So this has two basic components. First one is seasonal variations. What is meant by seasonal variation? Any changes that occur in lesser amount of time, in of less than an year, or we can say that it is due to the seasons or climate change, right? Seasonal and climate change. So in the seasonal characteristics can be seen, the we can take the example like sale of umbrella increases during rainy season. These are due to natural force. Similarly, we can say that sale of ice cream increases during summer season, or sale of woolen clothes increases during winter season, like this. And another example can be stated as sale of sweets increases due to festivals. These are man-made forces. Okay. Or we can say that sale of jewelry increases during marriage season, when a marriage are happening in the country or in the area. So that is how it is done. Then the second one was cyclic movements. Now, what is meant by cyclic movements? Cyclic movements take a period of 2 or more than a year. More than an year. Cyclic movements can be observed during the period of more than an year. So, in cyclic movements, we can take example of a business cycle. Suppose we are taking example of a business cycle. So the business cycle goes like this. First is increases, then it remains constant, then decreases, and then increases. So this is, we can say that this is prosperity, recession, depression, and recovery. This is prosperity, this is recession, this is depression, and this is recovery. So this is an example of a business cycle which can be used in the exam as well, right? Now the fourth component is, or the third we can say, irregular or random component. So irregular and random component may be due to floods, earthquakes, or natural calamities, due to wars, due to political outbreak. So these changes which cannot be measured but are present every may be present in every data series is known as random component, which does not come under trend, cyclic, and seasonal variation. That comes under random component. So this completes the components of time series. I hope that you got what we have done today. If not, then you can ask in the comment section. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll start by measures of trend and all of the measures with the examples. All the best. Thank you.